Good evening and welcome to the September 26th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome and good evening to everybody. Apologize for the little late start here. We do have a public hearing scheduled at 6, so I will declare that public hearing open, and this is to hear comments on the proposed amendments to the General Assistance Ordinance. So, Nancy Johnson.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Nancy, your General Assistance Director. Once a year we have to come in and update some numbers from the state, and it is now that time. They will go in effect on October 1st if they are voted in tonight. There's a lot of changes, so do you want me to just start at the top and read them, or you want to just go kind of where the biggest ones are?
Doesn't matter to me. You can
All right,
just
so we'll
give us the highlights and go from there.
On the overall maximums, which is the amount that the top, that they can receive, they've gone down a little bit, up a little bit actually. So it goes by number of person in the household, and it goes right up through to 5, and then every additional person they add $75 to that amount. So it's gone from $734 to up to $745 for one person. That's the max that they can get assistance with for that one person in the household. And right up through 5, which is up to $1,477, which used to be $1,460. So the biggest increase was $18. So on the food maximums, everything was reduced. They are giving out less for food allowances than what they used to. It's gone down in a small amount. They have a weekly maximum and a monthly. I'm just going to go over the monthly because that's usually how everything goes. It used to be $194 for one person. They've dropped it to $192, and then it just keeps dropping to $352 for 2 people, $504 for 3, which used to be $511. So the biggest drop is for 8 people in the family. It used to be $1,169, and now it's $1,153, so which was a reduction of $16 for that month. That's a monthly amount. And on the housing for rental assistance, they break it out into unheated and heated. So if heat is included, of course they're allowed a little bit more because now you don't got to buy them oil. So those numbers have all gone up a little bit. For 1 bedroom, $155 up to $159. 2 bedroom, $193 to $203, so that went up by $10. That's a weekly basis, in case someone only needs help for 1 or 2 weeks. On a monthly, the biggest increase is $47 for a 2 bedroom, which is kind of the most popular apartment or rental. Went from $828 to $875. And the heated, that went up by $20. And they had made a typo on the bottom, so instead of the $269, which it used to be, it's now $275 for 4 people for weekly, and $1184 for monthly for heated. On the electric, only, and honestly, I want to say it's a typo. For a 4-person household, the weekly amount went up 20 cents. Went down 20 cents. So I think that was really a typo from 1990 to 1970. On the with electric heat, there's only a couple of those changed. It went from $20.08 to $20.65 for one person for a week, $86 to $89 monthly, and $160 to $167 for 5 people in the house. Heating fuel is not changed. The amount that they're allowed per month, they break it out: 50 gallons for September, 100 gallons in October, November, and December. They're allowed 200 gallons. And on the household and personal supplies, there's no change whatsoever. And the mileage to get back and forth to work has not changed at all. That is still 44 cents a mile. And that's pretty much all the changes that there are for this year. And like I said, they will go into effect October 1st if they are accepted. Any questions?
Questions, folks? Any comments from the public? I have one question for you. Appendix A,
Yes.
overall maximums.
Mm-hmm.
Family of 4,
Mm-hmm.
1457.
Yes.
Family of 5 is $20 more. Is that a typo? But if a family of 6, you get $75.
They'll add 7, yeah, I know, it doesn't make any sense. It truly doesn't, because it used to be 39 to 60, so there was a significant difference there on the old numbers, but yeah, it went up less than the family of 4 did.
Just seems strange to me.
It did to us too. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Okay? You have any questions?
I do not.
Because evidently nobody else does. So.
I have a question.
Yep.
It seems to me that.
Can you just,
Ellen
Ellen,
Roberts,
yep.
Ellen Roberts, Deering Ridge Road, East Waterboro. My question is, it seems as if the amount is decreasing across each of the areas. Being a visual person and not having the paper in front of me, I'm just going by what I could pick up auditorily.
It decreased on food only. Everything else increased a little bit.
Okay, so it's decreased on food, and I don't grocery shop often, but I know that there hasn't been a decline in the cost of groceries. So is there something other than the food pantry that we now have for the town of Waterboro? Is there something that absorbs that for our residents, or they're just...
They can use Alfred and they can use Waterboro. Alfred does handle the shelter, the food pantry there handles Waterboro area.
Okay.
And there's a paper product pantry in Sanford that they can go to once a month that handles the Waterboro area as well. But other than that, food stamps is the only other option.
So this food allowance is not food stamps?
It is not food stamps, that is
They
a
can-
voucher from
they-
us at the town.
Okay, they
Okay.
can go.
Nor does it take into account anything that they would get from the pantries.
Correct. This is in addition to pantries and food stamps.
Okay, so that's not, there's something else that's making up the loss that
Yeah.
there could be.
Could be.
If they have the options to go to the pantries or to go for food stamps. That's not like,
On their last resort, they should have done those two places first before coming to me.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? I'm going to declare this public hearing closed, and the next item on the agenda is to vote to accept these changes as
Thank you.
suggested by the state.
So moved to approve as the state has printed.
I move.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed, motion carries 5-0. All right. Any announcements from the board? Sensing none, we'll jump into additions and deletions to the agenda. Tim, you wanted to add something?
Yes, the planning board has the idea of separating the fees and the ordinances into a separate fee schedule. And Lee J feels that they should get their mandate from us to develop that and send it back to us to vote on. What that does is you don't need to change the ordinances every time you change a fee. It allows us to change it. But
Okay, so you want to add item 9B under new business as zoning
Fee
ordinance
schedule.
fee schedule?
sounds good.
I have a motion for that? To add that to the agenda?
I'll make that a motion.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, it's added as item 9B, zoning ordinance fee schedule.
Is that just a zoning ordinance, or is that planning board fees too, Tim?
It's just whatever's in the ordinance, so we can change it without changing the ordinance.
Which would be planning board fees too, though, wouldn't it? So
If
if
it's
you're
in-
limiting it just zoning board, shouldn't you say planning board also, Dennis, or Tim?
Yeah, it would be anything that's in that think the understanding would be anything that's in the fee schedule
In that booklet, the
ordinance,
ordinances,
which
Waterboro
addresses
ordinance.
planning board fees, right?
When we get to the actual
Yeah.
discussion of that later on in the agenda, I think it should encompass all fees that the town imposes for everything.
Okay, well, we'll have that discussion at
Yeah.
9B, how's that? Okay, all right, any other additions or deletions? Sensing none, appointments, we have none, public comments. Anybody that would like to speak that's not on the agenda? Okay, correspondence, we have this week's treasurer's reports and the selectmen's correspondence. You're certainly more than welcome to take a peek at those if you're interested. I think they also get published in a packet, right? That's out on the web. Selectmen's reports. Let me start down to my left tonight. Gordon, anything?
I had occasion to swing by Friendship Park this weekend, and I was quite pleased to see the turnout of what apparently has been labeled the first annual Bimmy Woodsum Horseshoe Tournament. I would like that to be sort of to follow up a yearly event. I don't know if the Parks and Rec Department, had a hand in a lot of that down there, I guess. But I thought there was a great opportunity for, the townspeople to get together and have some recreational fun down there. I'm just sorry it was for such a bad reason. It was, a health issue, but, there was a lot of positive things that went there. They had some vendors down there, that supplied some really good food. There was music, and there was a lot of horseshoe players. So I was just very pleased at the turnout. So.
Okay. Anything else, Gordon?
No, well said.
Nothing. Dwayne?
Just to follow up with Gordon, I just want to put out the thank yous for such a well-organized group down there Saturday, and I couldn't begin to thank everybody that helped, because I don't know them all. And I'm not sure, there was a lot of undercover help there that I don't know who organized it. So it got organized and very well run. So thank you for all the townspeople that have helped.
Okay. Tim?
All set, thanks.
The only thing I've got is anybody that's interested in what goes on at Eco Maine from a recycling perspective. There is an open house this Saturday, the 30th, from 8 to noon. They are giving away, there's a lot of food. There's some Eco Maine recycling bins.
Recycling food?
Yeah, recycling. All you can eat. Yeah, all you can eat. They just give you a fork and spoon.
I'm not sure I want to participate in that.
But it's a pretty decent thing, and anybody that's interested, you can just go and they'll take you for a tour through the single sort recycling and whatnot. But that's from 8 to noon. This is an annual event for Eco Maine. So. And we are a member community and all have a certain percentage of ownership in that facility. So that's all I have. Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To reiterate something that was said 2 weeks ago, there is a free pesticide disposal put on by DEP. You have to register for this by September 30th. You can call 287-2731, or you can email pesticides@maine.gov. Everybody has to register, then they will see all the nasties that are coming in, and then schedule an actual location and time. So if you have some things around your house you want to get rid of, there's a way to do it at no charge. Recently there was a York County managers meeting where it's pretty rare. 12 out of the 16 managers from York County towns came together. We talked with the county manager about the courthouse As you know, the courthouse is relocating to Biddeford, and they didn't initially plan on any space for the district attorney. Now, as discussions move on, they're talking about 6,600 square feet, I think, for the district attorney. And unfortunately, the district attorney space right now is 11,000 square feet with some 40 to 45 plus people that work in the DA's office. And I don't know how this is going to turn out. It's going to take quite a bit of time. So stay tuned for more information in the papers on that. There's also a discussion that doesn't affect us directly, and that is the hiring bonus wars for hiring police officers all across the country and all across Maine as well right now, up to $14,000 in one particular town for a police officer to come and work for them. So some of these things are going to be on the agenda. We have a December meeting with New Hampshire, Southern New Hampshire managers. We're going to talk about hiring millennials, succession planning, retirement, and some of these police issues as well. Ted Doyle spoke earlier that we went to an elected officials workshop. I hadn't been to one of those in I think 3 or 4 years, and this one was very well done. Good information, even for veterans who have been around to know a lot in terms of municipal government. And I want the public to know, as you've seen in the newspapers, we're accepting applications for this community center steering committee. We've only had one application submitted so far, which is a little surprising. I've also talked to 3 people that called me directly to say, I don't think you should do this. And that was a surprise too. So if you're interested in being on this committee, which is not to go build a building, it's to look at ideas and options. Everything from A to Z, that's the charge of this committee. And also I would throw out to the board to think about future workshops, fire station improvement status. Staff needs direction here from the Board of Selectmen on what are we going to do or not do and when. And I was thinking October 17th is a possible date. Let's see, we just set, the code office, that was going to be after the next meeting. I think the fire station might be on a separate night with something else that could take up another half, 3/4 of an hour. So I just throw that out as something that I'm getting asked for by staff. What's the situation with the fire station? And I don't have an answer, so we need to chat about that. That's it from me. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Okay, new business. Discuss the vote to renew the State of Maine malt and vinous and liquor license for Flippin' Good located at 236 Main Street. It's just a malt and vinous for beer and wine?
Yeah, just beer and wine, yeah.
And when is it up?
A couple of weeks from now.
We're actually in here ahead of schedule.
Yes.
That's unusual.
I will move that we approve this with the recommendations of, both investigators, the code enforcement and,
Captain
Fire
Michael
department.
Frazier.
yeah, Frazier.
I'll second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded, and we do have some comments from the folks that came down and looked. I think they've discussed everything with you, right?
Yes.
What they found,
Yeah.
which is nothing significant here, right?
No.
Just
Just a
where a fire extinguisher might be located or whatever, I guess, is what I can glean
Yeah,
out
I'm
of
not
it.
saying that.
Why do we have no comment here from the local law enforcement presence? Usually we get that as part of the recommendation. I mean, is there any, do we know if there've been any calls for service or any liquor violations or anything? We usually get a no problem thing or,
Is
something.
that because we're in the middle of, well, Sean's gone and maybe one of the other two don't?
All the other licenses, they don't do that with the police. But I could see it from history.
Well, it's just to
I think
make sure,
maybe-
it's not on the form that goes to them, but we probably ought to look at whether it goes to the contract deputy for any review.
Yeah, Dwayne started on the 4th or the 5th. I think we probably ought to wrap him in, and he's on the day shift, so we should probably get him to do, when we need him, we should probably get him to do those in the future, because he took Sean's place, so I think that slipped through the cracks. Yeah.
amend the motion that's on the floor?
Sure can.
I'd like to amend the motion to approve contingent upon a favorable report from the Sheriff's Department. So when we get that, it would just, so that we don't have to come back in and vote again, we can just make the phone call over there and
Okay.
you know, get an up or down on that.
So your amendment would be the approval subject to a favorable report from the Sheriff's Department. Want a second to that?
Is there a time frame on that, or?
Gotta be.
I think it should be done, you know, as soon as possible. You know, how long is it gonna take to make a phone call over there tomorrow?
It does take the state up to 3 weeks to get back to approve our license, which will be until October 1st.
So you're looking just to make a phone call over there to see
Yeah,
if
just
there's
make a
any-
phone call and have them check the calls for service log and,
So we would know in essence tomorrow.
yeah,
Sherry can make a call over there if there's nothing on the,
Yeah.
then we go ahead with it, so.
So they're approved tomorrow if there's a phone call that says they haven't had calls by the police.
yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest we're gonna sign it tonight. Okay. All right,
Okay.
so do I have a second to his amendment?
I'll second it.
All those in favor of the amendment? Opposed? Okay. All those in favor of the original motion, which is now amended to include a favorable report from the Sheriff's Office? Okay. That motion passes. So we will sign off tonight. Sherry can make a call to the Sheriff's Office tomorrow just to make sure there's no glaring issue, but I would presume we probably know that already, but, so you'll be all
There's not
set?
been.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How things going, well?
Just hit our 1 year mark, obviously, being back to the rest.
What? It's gone. Congratulations.
It's either going wicked good or flipping good.
Yeah. Well, the first time you came in for a license, you hadn't even built the place out yet, right? You had your first license way early.
Yeah, we're waiting on stuff.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 2, zoning ordinance, fee schedule. I've just taken a quick look at the zoning ordinance. It's all about paragraph, or section 12, which is the fees and schedules. And that includes everything from the kitchen sink to everything. And it includes planning board fees. So is that what they're after for us to?
It would be everything in the ordinance book, because you print that book, and if you go in there and you change one fee, in essence, you need to reprint that book. And this was actually Christine Silberman's idea a few years ago.
And have a public hearing.
Exactly, and have a public hearing that we're revisiting. And if we separate out those fees,
I think we probably ought to have a workshop, because I rewrote them fees many years ago, and I spent almost a year with 2 or 3 other board members, and you get to have some, I think you was involved, but we spent many nights and investigations. You gotta have, in order to change the fee, you just don't change it to $100 or $150. You gotta have some background that it's costing the town. The town cannot make any money. All they can do is cover their cost. So you just can't up and, at a board meeting, change the fee. You've got to have a public hearing, and you've got to have proven fact that it's costing the townspeople money.
but that would be on us. But
Right.
if we take them out of the ordinance, then we own that list, and we'd have to do
So,
what you're saying.
somewhere in there, you're gonna have to, in Article 12, which is fees, violations, and enforcement, okay? It looks like the last time a building permit was altered was in 2002. The previous amendment was in 1988. So it's nothing that's been amended. And are they looking for an amendment of the fees, or they're looking for an amendment of the zoning ordinance that takes the fees out of the zoning?
An amendment to the ordinance. It was Lee J's suggestion that we give them the mandate to develop it and send it back to
So
us.
we're not gonna develop it.
No.
Okay.
But
John, you had a comment?
Well, I have a question. If you're changing the zoning ordinance, don't you also have to have a public hearing before you do that?
this is all part of rewriting the zoning ordinances, and that's why they want to include it in that, in the revisions.
So to vote on it, you can't vote on this tonight until you have a public
No,
hearing.
we can vote on giving them the action item to
We're just giving them the assignment.
change, they're gonna change the way that it's written.
But
So
we'll
you're
be,
not actually, tonight is not actually a vote to take it out.
No,
and we'll be seeing a completely revised ordinance coming out within a few months.
but it says,
Wishful thinking, wait.
It's in there.
it says all
They are
persons,
gated, they are gated, it's in the town attorney's hands at this point, so.
it does say, planning board, zoning board, appeals, all of that is included in this, so it's any fees, violations, or enforcement items within section 12, so they're gonna have to write that out, right? They're gonna have to say that the fees are per this schedule, which is approved on an annual basis or reviewed on an whatever. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but.
Take it right out of there, you're right.
So all we're doing is endorsing them taking this on.
Yeah, giving them that assignment.
Right. So did you want to make that as a
So I would make
motion?
that as a motion to give the planning board the assignment of developing a separate fee schedule.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussions? And they can, I guess they can
Planning
come,
board fees only, or is
No,
this,
Ordinance,
It's-
in the
it's-
ordinance.
it's all of the,
all of Article
Yeah.
12 would
Any,
be, right?
yeah,
I
anything in the
guess,
Article
yes,
12 even,
I was gonna say, but the trouble I've got is, have they got the capabilities of doing all of these fees when they're not even involved in them?
well, they have, in section 12, all the fees are listed in there. The most recent change that I can see was amended in 2016, which was the
Yeah.
appeal,
Yeah.
ZBA thing. So it would have, I guess it would be their decision whether to include all of those fees in this schedule, right?
I think sometimes it would actually slow down increasing the fee because you need to reprint all of your ordinance books. I think this would be cleaner if we could just look at a fee and make the change.
You can make a change of one page versus,
Well, they could write that into the ordinance that, according to the fee schedule, and the fee schedule can be amended
They could just,
separate from the
just refer to the fee
zoning
schedule.
ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Put
any
in as
further
an
discussion? Since none, all those in favor of tasking the planning board? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, kills that.
Just a comment, it's quite a task.
Yeah.
It's not easy, that's for
It's
sure.
not an easy deal.
It's
and
like
you-
6 pages long.
Yeah.
so.
You just don't pull out of your hat.
It's a lot of work for somebody. I can think of a name.
All right, old business. Discuss vote to grant the ATV Club permission to use a portion of Daring Ridge Road for its annual Fright Night Ride on October 21st. This was a request made a couple of weeks ago. We suggested that, and we did send out notices to everybody on Daring Ridge Road. I think one of the discussion points would be is this is a one-time event.
Right, we do it one time a year. It's the end of our season, essentially. Trails do not close after this, but our trail events and club events essentially stop after this, and then trails remain open until we get 4 to 6 inches of snow. Once that happens, trails are closed.
So this is a guided event?
It would be a guided event. I have no way to predict how many people. I can tell you in the past we've had 25 to 30 people. Could be 40, could be 45. Typically we don't take groups out of any more than say 15 people or so. So we always have a leader and then a person behind, just in case somebody breaks down, gets lost, whatever. We have smaller groups that are a little bit easier to manage. But basically we space those groups out you don't want each group kind of running on top of each other, because then now you got 60 four-wheelers all running together at once. So what we typically do is give about a 10-minute break as we're leaving the clubhouse, and usually by the end of the night, we've met up over at the Shell station over in Hollis. Typically go down to the river down in Leamington, and then stop at the Shell station on the way back, get a cup of coffee, and we had said, I think we had asked for 6 to 10 o'clock. That's what we're looking for.
Okay. So we sent out notices to everybody on the road. We have 2 families represented here tonight of that section. I think some of the comments back when we were having the discussion about doing this, there was some, probably have 3 considering that Tim lives on that section of the road. But,
I did get the postcard.
one of the discussions I think came up was whether or not, if it was a guided tour, whether or not there would be a control of when they went by. And I mean, it's not going to be 1, 2, or 3 units. It's going to be a group, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have, like I said, depending on how big of a group it will be, it'll either be 1, 2, or if it's a huge group, it'll end up being 3 groups. So you're talking, whatever, 3 groups that have come through between probably 6:45, 7 o'clock is when they'll start. They'll go through until probably about 7:30, and that's in 3 different groups. We'll be gone, and then we go over to Hollis, do whatever we do over there, ride back, and then you'll have those essentially 3 waves come back through.
So it's an out and back.
It's an out and back, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you do all kinds of scary things on the sides of the trails?
It's a very ironic. When we first started, we used to do like a haunted clubhouse, did bobbing for apples and all kinds of things, but we always ended with a night ride. And then as things progressed, we stopped having, shouldn't say stop, usually 2 or 3 kids would stop by. So we'd give them a little haunted hayride down through the trail behind the soccer field at the Friendship Park, and we decided that all that trouble really wasn't worth the 2 or 3 kids that we were seeing. So it's just kind of progressed into the Fright Night Ride when we do our annual. We usually raffle off an ATV or a big raffle item that we do for the season. This year it's the drone. So we'll do the raffle with the drone, we do a chili cook-off, and do kind of a smorgasbord of bring your own dinner type of thing, potluck.
So there's no imitation bloodletting and scaring of people as they go along?
No.
Okay.
Scariest thing that we see along the road is maybe a few people out there throwing toilet paper at us. But
Ooh, we can do that?
yeah,
Feel free.
it actually makes the ride more enjoyable.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Is this something that you advertise? Do you invite other people to ride with you? Or
Well, I mean, it's an annual event, so I mean, for the past 8 years we've done it. This would be the first year that we wouldn't have gone over to the river. What we do is it's an all-day event. We usually ride during the daytime. We head over to Alfred, right up to the top of the mountain, come back and head over to CC Road, come back for the dinner events and raffle items and all of that, and then we take off for the night ride. It's a pretty awesome view when you see 25 four-wheelers coming across the pole line. You see all the headlights and taillights, and we think it's cool. Some people may not.
But it's not just your club, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not just our club. Anybody,
Sure.
any of our rides, anybody is welcome to those rides. A lot of those are club members because they're on our email membership list. But we have 1,000 people that watch our Facebook page. We don't have 1,000 members, and those events are posted on our Facebook page.
But nobody can just randomly. It's a led and followed.
Correct. Right.
It's a guided ride.
It's a guided ride. We leave from the clubhouse as a group. We come back as a group. I'm not saying that every time that happens, somebody may break down. And that happens, but
But there's not like 15 or 16 other riders.
No,
that are gonna come
exactly,
along
and we
with you.
haven't even advertised where we're going or any of that because we don't really, it's a Fright Night Ride. People really don't care where they go. They like to go for a ride, and that's the gist of it. So if we did get this, we're not trying to advertise or do anything different than what we have done before in the past, and we're not trying to sneak our way back into Deering Ridge Road. If we sneak our way back into Deering Ridge Road, the way it sounds now, it'll probably be all of the roads, not just Deering Ridge Road. So, and that may not happen. I don't have all kinds of time to devote to
I was just thinking of the hot shots that tag along with you guys.
Yes, but
establish
again,
a
there's
route.
somebody in the front and there's somebody in the back.
Yeah.
You're right. So and
So it's
and
kind of a
typically-
supervised.
It's supervised, and typically, anytime that we hit Deering Ridge Road, because we stop right at the end of Bennett Hill Road or stop at a location, prior to getting onto the road, we remind everybody that the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, or 20, whatever the speed was, ride responsibly, and we go as a group. So you have your leader, the guy in the back's got his orange vest on, they're through. Then the next group will come through. It is 10 to 15 four-wheelers at a time, though. I mean, I don't mean that.
But it's a civilized.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. Right. We're not. That's not the yahoos. That's not the rebels that are out there trying to avoid the police,
Yeah.
right? So.
Comments?
I mean, I have no issue with it at all.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
I mean, it sounds like it's supervised. It will be an out and back, so we expect straightening out and then coming back. We don't have many trick-or-treaters on the road, so there's
It's
not.
the 21st of October anyhow.
Right.
Oh, yeah, 21st, okay.
You want to stand out there and give them candy on the way by?
Hand candy out, they'll take it.
Toilet paper.
Little early for beggars.
And I mean, and I guess ultimately, if it goes well, we would be in hopes to maybe possibly do this again next year. So I don't want to not hide that, I guess. I mean, ultimately, Leamington River is a beautiful place to go. It's a nice destination point. It's about 2 hours away, hour and a half, 2 hours away. So it gives us a good destination point to get to, turn around and come back. It usually makes for a pretty decent ride. But.
Eleanor, question?
Um, My question, I guess, is what have you done since we were at this meeting, and not you personally, but what have the ATV organization done since the last time we were here to find alternate routes so that you're not using Deering Ridge Road or Roberts Ridge Road or any road? We sat here a few months ago with the sheriff saying that that Deering Ridge Road was probably the least safe road to be having four-wheelers on, and now you want to do it at night. That causes me pause, because while it's not like a parade where you're shutting down the road for this amount of time, unless that's what you're doing, is shutting down the road for an hour and a half from 6 to 7:30, and then from 9 to 10:30, or whatever the coming and going is. It's not like a parade where you're shutting down the road so you're not having traffic. It's not like you can control all of the you can't control all of the people who are not going to be kind, and you can't monitor everyone. It's those those rotten apples that are ruining it for you. I'm sorry, but
No, I don't disagree. But if they're going for a ride with us, they're going for a ride with us. You know what I mean? If they start to act inappropriately, they do not ride with us. I mean, that's as simple as that.
okay. So then I'm stuck there. Then I'm stuck with them on Deering Ridge Road, right outside my house.
I highly doubt they're going to hang out in front of your house. But
A question concerning the law enforcement aspect of
Yep.
it. The sheriff would be aware of this, and would they provide or be in the area to assist? Or have you talked with them at anything about
I haven't talked to them about it, but obviously we would identify the fact that we would be on that road so that we wouldn't end up getting in trouble. I mean, we would.
It's a permitted use.
It's a permitted use. We would be in touch. I would always talk to Sean before, and I can talk to Dwayne. That's easy enough to do.
Maybe they would want to say, well, we'll just be in the area to assist if it's needed.
Absolutely, if that's a request, we can find out if that's what they want to do. You know, but as far as answering the question, I mean, we spent a year and a half, researching every landowner that abutted. I even contacted you guys because we were trying to find a way around, right? So. Unfortunately, there is no, once you're on to Billy Deering's land, there's no way back off of it. You come out behind where the landlocked lobster pound is, and there's a 30-foot cliff. You can't come through Nero's property because he doesn't want you to go through his property. He's developing it. I don't know that I would, as a developer, I don't know that I'd want to do it either. When somebody moves in and has ATVs, they might open that road back up again. You know, I mean, it really, we're in a limbo state where there's landowners that really don't want to do anything, and my guess is Mr. Deering is probably going to sell that 400 acres that's behind you as well, you know, so who knows what's going to happen there. So right now, and even when we go back to when we had originally asked for Bennett Hill Road, obviously there's a trail that comes out right across from Mansion Road, but we were looking into the future and realizing that, you know, Deering may very well end up doing something with that property, so that really brings us to the end of Bennett Hill Road. Land Trust owns both sides of that road. We're essentially good all the way to there, so we knew we were good to there. We have been back, we've talked to the Selectmen. They've given their letter of recommendation to the state to look at Townhouse Road. I was contacted by Brian Bronson this week. Unfortunately, the whole packet of information didn't show up. We got the letter, so we'll be sending him the rest of that information. So essentially, hopefully that answers your question of what we've done in the last 3 months.
David?
If this is approved, Todd, are you going to advertise so that the general public knows that you'll be out there and be a little more aware of?
It's up to you guys.
Well, your club
I mean,
is going to advertise to come join us.
They're going to come join us for the Fright Night Ride, plain and simple.
Is that what you're after, David, asking, or are you saying?
Just to make people aware of it, so if they're traveling that road, they'll know that it's going on and maybe take it. I know this is far-fetched, but they may take it easy and be a little more cautious.
On Darren Ridge Road?
Yeah, I mean, I
And we
guess.
will allow a Fright Night every night if they'll take
Yeah.
it easier.
I did work up there, so I know what the traffic is like up there.
Ellen?
So, I think Dave brings up a really good point here. Is there any possible way to have Deering Ridge Road closed to everything except local traffic? So that only the people that live on Deering Ridge Road between the hours of, I don't know, 6 and 10, is that what you said?
Yep.
Between the hours of 6 and 10. Okay, you can't close it off. You're not going to have somebody at each end checking driver's license to see if you live there. But if you at least had signs up that said something about local traffic only for this amount of time, it might make the whole thing a lot safer.
I don't want to turn this into a fishing derby. I'd rather just say, no, that's not.
What's the possibility of just grabbing a couple of
I mean, we could put a couple of signs
those
up.
changeable lot of signs that just says, there's an event going on here, and please travel with caution from 6 to 10 or something like that. I mean, that would, if you put one up by the big Deering Field, right?
Both ends.
Both ends. At least they would notice that there's something going on, and there could be ATVs in the road. But I think if
We could put something
you
up,
got a
like
pack of
ATV traffic
10 or
and
11,
use-
they're going to see that there's ATVs. It's not like, oh my God, there's an ATV.
No, exactly. It's not like you're not gonna. I mean, I don't. You're not gonna not notice us.
Everyone's gonna have lights and taillights.
Right,
so
everybody has
it's
lights and taillights.
It's not like,
However, my concern is if you've got 12 to 15 ATVs strung out all along, and you've got somebody that wants to get somewhere in a car, they're going to be trying to pass you doing 20 or 25 miles per hour, and it's not a great road to pass on. And we have lots of people passing on that road that probably shouldn't be passing on that road. I don't want to be the person driving down that gets head on or get my very own fright night because I just avoided a head-on collision with someone who's trying to get around a long stretch of ATVs. And I'm not that it's not trying to be a Debbie Downer or trying to have you not have some enjoyment. I'm just looking at it
Like I said,
from...
it doesn't matter to me. I don't want it to be a big deal. From the club's perspective, we'd rather it not be a big deal. If we've got to jump through hoops and do all kinds of things, I mean, we just let people do what they want to do. People that want to follow us and do our group, they'll join us and they'll stay riding with us. The people that want to ride Deering Ridge Road to access trails and to do all of that, they continue to do that. You know, I mean, that has nothing to do with us, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they do, and they've been very disrespectful.
Right, and that, but all I can tell you is that since the beginning of this season, when we closed that trail, we did everything that we could. We put signage up. The sheriff's department was there. The wardens were there. They can't be there every day. You know what I mean? And I'm not. From our perspective, we just wanted to see if we could get permission to run the road for the day, or for that 6 to 10 period. If we can do it, great. If we can't, we'll go somewhere else. We'll head to Lebanon for the night, or we'll do something else. You know. So, from the perspective of us
But it's not-
advertising it, I guess you know, it's up to-
Sometimes I think the advertising does you more harm than good.
Right.
If you just do it.
But you're not gonna be running for that whole period of time. If you have 2 or 3 groups, that's 15 minutes,
Correct.
right? Twice over that period of time,
I
basically.
mean, I can talk to Dwayne and see if Dwayne wants to be in the area for the day. I mean, there's no reason that, or that night or something. There's 2 of them on duty now, right?
And it's the
He'd be
night-
off at 4, it would be Kevin Collins.
Right. But who's in charge? Dwayne or Kevin?
Whoever's on duty.
For those of us who don't live or travel Daring Ridge Road on a regular basis, what's the length, mileage?
2.1 miles.
Thank you. So you're talking basically
25 miles,
40
20
minutes
miles an hour.
of the 4-hour period.
Correct. Yeah. And like I said, I'd rather not have issues with landowners, because that's not what the ATV club is about. The ATV club is to keep landowner relations and to keep, or to try and fix the ATV name that a lot of people have against us. So,
Sheriff kind of on the tail end behind you probably would stop everybody from trying to pass, but if it's available.
No,
And then you just
I've
pick up.
driven in the middle of that road, and they still pass you.
Yeah, I know.
I just can't imagine. If they're in that much hurry.
I see your issue is if you get 15 ATVers going along and you got a car.
so just remind everybody, we already did this once.
Yeah, we did this last year.
Yeah, we did this last year. So,
Well, was there any issue with the cars coming up, let's say behind you, and then pulling out away from you to avoid you, and then having a car come the other way? That's where I see is the potential for a problem.
I will say the group that we were with did have a car that came upon us. They came upon us at the Deering field, and we were headed towards Waterboro. Okay, they waited until they got to that straight stretch, and then they pulled out and passed us. But again, we know how to be safe, and that's to stay in your line and you maintain your speed, right? So if you're spending all kinds of time looking around your shoulder, you're going to go off the trail, right? So an ATV rider is on the machine, and they're driving forward, and they maintain their speed, they stay in their lane, and that's the direction they're going.
Just so quick, we can back up. I'm not concerned with the ATV rider right now because I understand that they're going to be focused. It's the idiot that comes up behind you and just can't wait for one reason or another, and he swings out into the opposing lane to avoid any contact with this line of recreational riders, and you have a car coming the other way who now is going to meet on that opposite side of the road. That has the potential of not only having a motor vehicle accident there, but careening into the riders.
So I'm going to pull a note out of Joe's book. So if you're up on Daring Ridge Road and you're a farmer and you're farming and you're haying the field up there and you're driving a tractor at less than that speed, okay, is that any less dangerous? Okay.
Thanks.
Yes, because a tractor and a trailer is not as long as 15 ATVs stretched out.
And they're also doing it.
But in
And
most,
they're doing it during the day.
but let's
Not always.
we're looking,
I think I was just trying to clarify.
We're looking for the
Eleanor's
worst
point.
case scenario here, of what's gonna happen. These guys, you got a leader and you got a follower in each one of these strings, right?
Correct.
And certainly, those two, the leader and the follower, can intervene if there's a car that needs to get by them, right?
Correct.
To wave the car by in a safe manner.
Correct.
So, I mean, I don't think we're gonna,
Realistically, you only got one passing lane, and that's the
Right.
length of the schoolhouse field. Other than that, there's no place to pass.
Yeah.
And,
Doesn't mean they don't.
well,
No,
I
you're
understand
right.
that, but
You're right.
You've worked on that road.
The other option too is that there's no reason that one of our members can't follow the group. We can have a guy sit up there at the top of the hill. He can follow with his four-way flashes on, follow that group out,
hang to the center line.
hang
so
to
they
the,
can't
hang to the
pass.
center line so they can't pass, and we go down through. That truck will turn around, go back, get the next group, and we can bring the next group down through that
may
way.
very well work.
But I mean, what,
That works.
That
And
works.
then you also, you have pretty good shoulders between the two. So you
They
can't,
need to stay on the road.
well, you have to stay. on
we
the
want
road.
to stay on the road because we don't want to
Yeah, we
break,
don't
undermine the
want people
pavement.
working there.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Could I say something?
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman? So I'm assuming you sent out about 22 postcards that, for the people on that stretch,
Talking to you.
about 22 postcards.
I didn't send any out.
Well, that's what I had for the survey.
The office.
We have about 22 households.
I did everybody on the road, whether they had a home there or not.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
I sent out 45.
So you have one household that showed up,
One-
that they're not opposed to it. Another household that isn't happy about it. But out of all those residents on the road, I mean, this is it. I think if there was really a strong feeling against it, we'd have more of a turnout.
But
Well,
to get to you guys, I really don't mind somehow solidifying, making that issue go away. You know what I mean? Still can't guarantee that it's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
No,
but it
but
will help the
They're at least
situation.
gonna have to pass a full-size
Yeah.
vehicle, and most people aren't gonna. do that.
Our ride actually benefits the fire department because they're looking to do some rescue equipment. So I may very well even be able to talk Matt into coming up and hanging out for an
So it's a
hour.
fundraiser too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You didn't mention that.
Well, it's all our rides are.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Some of the
since-
different things.
Since you have a lovely sign business, even if you put just a regular sized vehicle with something on the back that simply said ATV ride in progress, because if it's a large enough vehicle and you're on a straightaway, they may not see the grouping of ATV riders in front of the vehicle.
I think I'm going
and
to
could-
solve the problem and put a fire department truck behind us.
So that,
I think that's going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And I know Matt will do that because we're going to hook him up with some funding. So.
Something you have to say 500 feet back.
So what do we, well, I mean, I think we've heard the concerns here.
I'll
What
make
is-
a motion to close the public hearing.
Well, it's not a
Actually,
public,
even
no, not a
public
public hearing, so
No,
I
we
need a
got
motion. Need a motion to do this or not to do it, one of the two.
I'll make a motion to allow the ATV club to run their night ride of October 21st, 2017.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. You heard the concerns, let's just.
Yep. And you'll see red lights as well as a lot of ATVs going by.
And certainly,
Sort of like a parade.
I think for those of you that live on that section of the road, certainly any feedback that you can give them after the event would go a long way to whether we do this or whether they want to do it again.
Our email address is info@ometv.net, and if you need to find me, you can find me at rsd.house. You can talk to me there as well.
one final question concerning just the use of the trail in general. I know you did the test program last year.
Yep.
Is this a work in progress? Or?
It's very slow.
Okay. So
They're working on the
Very
townhouse
slow.
road.
There's no current plan for
Deering
to
Ridge.
go back to Deering
Deering
Ridge.
Ridge, okay. But you're looking at other options.
So, right, what came out of those meetings, I believe, from our perspective, the club's perspective, is that we are looking at some of the complaints on the Deering Ridge Road was, why are you picking on us? So, that means that there's other people that they're concerned that we're just picking on Deering Ridge Road. So then we looked at other roads as well. So then we started talking about Chadwood Ridge Road, we talked about Flax Bridge Road, Middle Road, as another avenue. Carthage LaBoy Lumber owns like 2,100 acres up in North Waterboro. We've got about 30 miles of trail on their property, which interconnects the Hollis and Leamington trail system. So basically, after that meeting, we were looking at a bunch of other roads. But then the question becomes, okay, so now are those 3 other roads going to think that we're just picking on them? Right? So then do you just do it? ATVs are allowed on roads. There's also some things happening with ATVs in the side-by-side market that they're starting to put these side-by-sides as on-road, off-road vehicles, just like your on-road, off-road motorcycles. So there is still going to be a possibility of ATVs being on a road as an on-road, off-road. Probably still a few years down the road. That's nothing that we can control. But basically, because we've also looked at the Department of Transportation and looking at Townhouse Road, where the state has a program, this is an easy way to see if it's even something that the town can support and wants to support. So there's still only we're years away, and who knows, somebody else could close their
I
lane.
think so, well, the ATV market has moved away from four-wheelers to side-by-side.
Correct.
So,
Which has also increased the age of the people that are out there riding. Right? Now you've got a bunch of 60-plus-year-old people out riding, and they're just having a good time. You know, they're just cruising along.
I wouldn't ride until they close it so there's no dust.
Yeah.
Imagine. That sounds like fun, huh? It's still getting dusty.
So, did that answer your question?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good.
All right, let's move on to paper streets.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
But if we jump to 11, and then I can just get up and run here in just a few minutes if you
All
want.
right, so discuss vote to approve the minutes of the September 12th meeting. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
And moved, do I have a second?
Second.
And moved and seconded, all those in favor? Okay, that's done. Now back to 10B.
10B.
Discuss vote to extend the deadline for 20 years for vacation of proposed but unaccepted ways, which is AKA paper streets. So you have a packet, or it was in the packet, right?
Yes. There was a short memo in there from me, and back 20 years ago, I was surprised to see that you'd only done 3 streets. Remember, a paper street is something that was on an approved subdivision plan prior to September of 1987. And David and I looked at 3. There is a Woodsum Avenue up off opposite Garland. It's now, I guess, it looks like an ATV trail. It was never improved. And we thought that there's potential there for that to be developed, so we left that in. The other 2 are over here in the Nature Conservancy Pine Barren area. This is Buff Brook Road, which has quite a few houses right in here, somewhere, I don't know, 8 to 12 houses. We thought that Buff Brook should stay in for protection there for those folks. And the other one was Pleasant View Road, which was never constructed formally. You don't even think you can find it. I don't even think they cut the trees. But it's right up through the subdivision that the Nature Conservancy bought. It shows on our parcel map, but the road actually is not there physically on the face of the earth.
Did the Nature Conservancy vacate the zoning? I mean, the
Subdivision.
So if they vacated the subdivision, does that vacate that road?
I would think so.
I think they did, because I've just been reading those minutes.
Have we talked to any of the 3 landowners?
For that own houses on Buff Brook?
Yeah, well, any 3 of these 3 roads, have we talked to any of the landowners?
I didn't bother talking to the
Okay.
Nature Conservancy because I
Well,
know enough, a little bit enough, they don't want that. They don't want,
question I've
That
got
one,
is
right there.
that, and I can't believe that we even need to do that, but how long have we got on this?
3 days. 3 days.
We got 3 days
You do it
left.
by the
to
end
do
of
it?
this month.
Okay. That piece, your Woodsum deal up there,
Right there.
is now owned by a different owner.
Myron and Brenda.
Right.
And Myron's been sick and I haven't.
The question is whether they need the road or not.
That's why we left it in.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem leaving it in, but that's been developed.
Well, by default, you're better off to leave it in than you
Yeah.
are to take it out, right?
I mean, David said he was ill and we didn't want to,
Yeah.
we just thought it was safer to do this. No commitment on our part other than, you know.
And the other one is a development that has never been created.
But on Buck Brook Road, there are houses, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
That one went down, right down through and
In
come out
there.
over on the middle road, correct? Buck Brook started over to Ross Corner.
Yeah, but it doesn't go that far now.
Oh, it ends, but I mean,
the
on
road,
the
the
subdivision.
road is there.
On the subdivision
travel
plan, there's
path
a-
is there.
I guess that's my question, is the subdivision plan showed that road? I mean, that's many, many years ago, right? Now, the Nature Conservancy bought anything that hadn't been developed in Buff Brook, right? Or they bought all that property.
On the inner side of it.
Right,
yes.
so did they vacate the subdivision? In other words, did they come in to the planning board and say, we own all the land, we're doing away with the subdivision?
Not to my knowledge, because it would have come off, or it should have come off the map when they did that. And it hasn't. I mean, they own, I'm pretty sure they own that one and everything right around that other side of Buff Brook Road, and they come up into here too.
So why,
Am I confused, or what are you calling Buck Brook, David?
Right there. That one.
Is that the road that goes from Ross Corner over across to
No,
the Things
it's
Mills,
off from,
Clark's Bridge,
That comes
Middle
right in there.
Road?
That's the road we came in right there, David, isn't it, where the pointer is?
Yeah.
We went over into Chapley and came through that
No,
road.
Northwest,
northwest, the other side of northwest, no, well, that's not northwest, that's Silver, there's.
Sherburne.
okay,
Sure.
you're up almost to the store and going in. Lake Region Store,
Uh,
Oh, quite a ways back
no,
this side.
no, you're not.
halfway from Ross Corner though.
You're almost to Lake Sherburne. That's the more active part of Lake Sherburne development, right across from the electrician. When you go in Lake Sherburne development that way,
On the sharp turn on the west road?
yes.
Okay,
No, on the sharp turn on the Ross Corner.
Ross
Road.
Corner Road.
Okay.
You go on the shop, you know where the horse track is?
Yep,
Just
Kathy
half a
Hill.
mile up, you
Yep.
make a real
Okay.
hard left
Yep.
turn, there's a dirt road
Goes
right
to
there.
Shaft
I'm trying
Road
to
and
think
into
of the name
Waterboro.
of it.
Yep.
It's-
Yeah, okay, I know where you are there now.
Yeah, you go in there and there's a fork in the road.
Yep,
You go to the left and
Yep.
that goes to Buck Brook Road.
yeah, which goes to
is
Things Mills.
The outer,
Right,
the outer limits
Okay.
of,
which ends up going to Things Mills.
Which,
Just right-
okay,
right
as a
there.
kid,
Right.
they always told me that Buck Brook,
Ross Corner first.
they put a culvert in Buck Brook,
You go to,
which is
go past, you go, hit Route.
South Waterboro side of Lake Sherburne, or
Yeah, versus Shapley, Newfield.
Right, right.
well, where
closer
we
to the
were
west
is-
road, yeah,
Yeah,
and
So you
goes
go by-
across and comes out on the middle road.
You go by the.
well, I've never been
There's
across
a,
there, but.
well,
Okay.
Bob Fay and Andrew, and I don't know if Doug was involved or not, but they put culverts across that.
Kids on the bus.
Yeah, and there was a bridge at one
And there was a
time.
bridge, yes.
But that all
There's two
washed.
culverts still up in there.
Where was the dam that washed out Cameron's Dam?
That's over closer
That's-
to,
It's back further, right?
Well, if you
that's
go
over
in,
closer to Things Mills Road.
yeah,
Right,
if you went in that road, you'd come out on the
right,
Shapley side of that.
right.
Yeah.
So, but isn't that quote unquote, wasn't that gonna be Buff Brooks? When they dammed that up, the intent was they were gonna create another
Yes,
Right.
pond, right?
another Sherburne.
Right, another in Lake Sherburne. And then that dam went out and that all went bust.
Well, he didn't go
Yeah,
out,
but-
they opened it.
Well, okay,
He blew it out.
He blew it out, but,
No.
but that, doesn't
That went
that,
out when the lake, first dam went
Because
out.
he had weakened it, and,
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, it went out by design,
Yeah,
yeah,
something like
the
that.
dam itself held.
But
the dam
that,
is
all
still
that
there.
property that the land conservatory bought included what was quote-unquote defined as Buck Brook Estates, right?
yeah.
So, so they own a subdivision, and we tax them as, well, we don't even tax
They
them,
don't
because
even
they're
tax them. It's not-
non-profit.
Yeah,
So we ought to, I mean, this is many, many years down the road, we ought to force them to come in here and vacate the subdivision plan.
Could have that conversation. They probably vacated the development rights when they did what they did in the conservation easement, so if you're gonna tax them, it's probably 90% reduced, so.
Yeah, but why would we,
Right about
why would
that.
we keep the
I don't
paper
feel-
straight?
I don't have a problem with whatever you do here.
We kept it on because of the people that were on Buff Brook
Yeah.
today in their homes.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was the rationale.
yeah.
Would we still have the agreement with them? It must be covered in that.
I've got to go to Forest Avenue.
There is no.
There
We
isn't
used
any?
to maintain.
Those
that
people
part.
at, on Buff Brook have a homeowners association,
Yeah,
because the paperwork's on file in the office, and
Right.
You said they did or they should have?
they do,
They do.
they do.
That's one thing I don't think we knew, that.
I did not hear what he said.
He said they do have a homeowners association out there.
Those houses that are there,
Yeah.
really?
They,
So they take care of their road.
they have a document that says they have a homeowners association,
That was
but
probably-
nobody participates in it, because there's one guy up there that does the grading, and he does the plowing, and he
was
bent my ear saying that nobody chips in, to help him with gas or anything. And so I came back here and researched it and found out that there is a homeowners association where he could technically force them to chip in, but he didn't want to do that. So I said, well, it's up to you.
He's doing a really good job of keeping the road
Yeah.
fairly smooth.
So are those the only three that we need to extend?
Oh, just two.
Yeah, the last thing I read, it was extend two and get rid of one.
Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the one that's in the middle of the,
Yes.
okay.
You're going to do
Okay, I'm
Buff
good
Brook
with
and Woodsome Ave.
Okay.
So if we're going to get rid of it, do we have to file that with the Registry of Deeds?
Check's all ready.
Huh?
This document,
It's
yeah.
all ready to go.
It's all ready to go. Okay, good. Because I know in the past that's fallen through the cracks on a lot of items. I just want
So
to
I
make
would-
sure that it doesn't fall through this crack.
Yep.
I need a motion to accept the vacation of these paper street for another 20 years.
Two of them and get rid of one.
Right.
No, to extend the Paper Street staff.
Extend,
All right,
Yes.
right.
so moved.
But it's a paper street vacation. I think that's the right word.
No,
right?
vacation is to vacate something, and we're not vacating it. We're keeping it. We're vacating the one
Okay,
street.
all right, so,
Extend Paper Street staff.
so we're moving to extend the paper street status for Woodsome Ave and Buff Brook Road,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
And we're vacating the third one.
Right, and, well, if we don't extend it, it gets vacated automatically, right?
Yep.
Okay. So,
So moved.
it's been moved, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, 4-0. So we gotta sign that document, correct?
Yes, it's in the packet here.
So, what happened to my thing? So we did 11 already. Any decisions? Week's action list. Any? I think we're all set. Nothing really came out of that. Agenda items for next meeting.
First quarter review, you want to do it?
Yeah, that makes some sense. Know where we are.
What are your thoughts on fire station? Do we workshop that? Do we start with a discussion here to
I think we
kick
need
it
to
off?
have a discussion of what do we, I think this discussion's gotta be for those things that have gotta get fixed. How much is that gonna be in next year's budget? I really think that's
good
what we
starting
need to,
place.
where we need to start.
Public session.
Is that the part that you and I talked about going to be part of that work trees?
Not with the price you got in my mind, but
Oh,
we can talk about that with the board, sure. Yeah.
Well, let's have that discussion started anyway.
The politics of it, yes,
pardon?
if that's your question. The politics of it.
First
The
quarter review.
politics of it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna have an executive session, correct?
With the young lady for the budget committee, if she's available.
At 5:45, she is.
Okay, what about
But
the
also
other,
CEO,
what about the other executive session that we talked?
CEO
10:10,
at 5 PM.
5 PM.
What is that?
5 PM, CEO executive session. With CEO issues. Actually, it would be,
So we got 45, you're gonna tee
Personnel.
this up as 45 minutes, right? Because we got an applicant coming in.
we can, if we keep it to these two issues before us, we can make pretty good headway in 45 minutes. I think.
All right. Well, it's always something that we could reconvene, right? Yes,
Depending on inspections, you may have two junkyard permits. If they're both renewals and they don't require a public hearing.
okay, so under the action items, there's an action item that we're gonna call the sheriff's office tomorrow,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, if you have anything, let me know and we'll let Gary or Sherry know and we'll put it on the agenda.
One thing I'd like to bring up as far as agenda items is, been talking to the one active person apparently that's on the Public Safety Committee. Tried to meet with those people twice in the last month. I met in the parking lot with the guy that we just appointed to that committee. He's the only one that showed up, so we had a short discussion in the parking lot, and I asked him to put his thoughts together. He's done a lot of research into what's on paper, archives, and everything else for public safety wise, but he's got a recommendation that I'd like to bring up to you guys. I just need time to put it together. So if we could put that on the agenda to speak to that.
For 2 weeks from now?
Sure.
Is
Next
that where you're
week,
going? Yep.
Anything else? Okay. Items needing signature, the minutes of the September 12th meeting, the notice, Paper
Yeah,
Streets
two
notice,
of those.
General Assistance Ordinance, flipping good liquor license. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 4-0 at 7:30.